What's up, guys? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, Nvidia, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down some new news that came out that's very important and what you should be watching for in the charts as well. But just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $2,000, you're guaranteed 30 in total, and the offer ends very soon at the end of March. Anyways, as far as Tesla's going, I just want to mention that we have this channel so far. So we're at range bound. If you look at the last 4 or 5 days on Tesla, every time we're hitting this 348 area, Tesla's bouncing. But whenever we hit 362, we reject. So we're just going back and forth right now. If Tesla manages to break 362, we're looking for an attempt for the 370s. If we end up losing 348, the low from yesterday, also the low from a couple of days ago, there's going to be a risk of us returning to the very low 340 area or below. So it could go either way as we're just range bound. I'll talk more about these levels in just a couple of minutes. Let's also first talk about the news. So Tesla's recalled about 380,000 vehicles, according to reports in the US, over a power steering assist issue. Now, this is what the reports are saying. This is not what I am saying. The reports are saying Tesla's recalling more than 375,000 vehicles. The same thing is being said everywhere. But there's a big catch to this. When you go all the way down, there's been a lot of talk that came from this because of the NHTSA and their probe on Tesla, which has been going on for over a year. But once again, scroll down and look at the fine print, and you will see that the company has released an over-the-air software update to fix the issue. So it's just a software update that's going to help fix this issue, according to Tesla. This is not a very, very serious recall like the way the media is describing it. I'm just here to tell you guys that the media claims that this is a massive recall, when in reality, it's going to be fixed with the software update. So the HTSA, obviously, they have this probe going on with Tesla. They're going to be finding lots of minor issues here and there, and they're going to describe this as a recall, which does not necessarily have the same context. If you compare that to like a conventional car that does not have these technologies, you have to take it to the shop during a recall and then they have to do repairs. This is completely different. It's just an over-the-air software update that Tesla has to do to fix this. So hopefully, it does not affect the share price too bad. We did get a bit of a dip on Tesla yesterday, and we'll have to see if we can hold support. We're not the strongest right now, but we'll see just to be safe. So I'll talk more about that in just a couple of minutes. Today is Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. 15 minutes after the market opens, we have the S&P Global Composites Manufacturing and Services PMI reports. The PMI data may cause some volatility, so watch for that. Besides that, at 10 a.m., we have the Michigan Consumer Sentiments data. So look for some volatility at 9:45 a.m. and 10 a.m. 15 and 30 minutes after the stock market opens. Then we have some Fed speakers, so give it some time. On top of this, I just want to mention that there's been some more news about the markets, how we kind of dipped, and now we're trying to get bought back up to some extent. I didn't see anything else that was too crazy in the news, at least thus far. I did hear that Walmart had decent earnings, but their guidance was underwhelming when their earnings had come out. So not the best of news. But with that being said, I'm not really too worried about that for now. Moving forward, I just want to say that when it comes to SPY, we have about a little bit over 860,000 of these calls expiring, or 850,000. And we have over 2.85 million puts expiring. So we have a 3.36 put to call ratio. There's 3.36 puts for every call expiring today. And as a market maker, if I was one, I would probably try to squeeze shorts or at least hurt them. So there's a very, very good chance that's going to happen. I also want to mention that for the next week that's coming up, we actually have Nvidia's earnings. Okay, so we have today for day trading, Monday and Tuesday. Then Wednesday is going to be Nvidia's earnings day. Just a couple of trading days left. Then we have Nvidia, so that could be very impactful, especially if Nvidia starts to run. It has a big effect on the broader markets. So as far as Tesla's going, this is a little bit complicated. We're getting this recall news. Obviously, they love to attack Tesla, and we're looking a little bit weak on the PPO. I want to see Tesla hold above 355. If we could hold that, I do think we go back up to 362. If not, there might be a small dip coming to 348 before we end up trying to see some kind of bounce if that support holds. So that's just based off technicals. What do I think is going to happen? I think there might be some kind of like downwards move coming just temporarily. There's a lot of talk about this recall news, and we'll see if Tesla could hold above 350 to 348. If we lose this, there's going to be a bigger dump, but if we could hold this, then I think we will rebound again slowly and just continue to trade sideways in this range. So keep that in mind, everyone. There might be a small dip before it tries to rebound, but just be very patient nonetheless. For other stocks out there, we have SPY. SPY is looking bullish. It's trying to make a full recovery move, especially because of the fact that we dumped yesterday only to get bought back up and we bounced right back up above 608. So I mentioned to everyone that Nvidia was likely going to see a bit of a dip, a temporary dip, because I was still bullish on Nvidia approaching earnings, but I said there might be a dip coming. I don't know if you guys remember my Wednesday video. I was gone yesterday, so I didn't get a chance to give you guys an update, but I'm trying to say that we called this dip that was coming, and I mentioned to you all it might just be a temporary dip before we bounce. Because what's good is, yes, we dumped, but we did not close below 608. So if SPY loses 608, if we close below that, then yes, I'll be expecting 605 or below. As long as we're above 608, we are favoring upside, and this could be making a full recovery. This is favoring, technically speaking, as long as 608 doesn't fail us, we're going to continue to uptrend, try to make new all-time highs again. That's what SPY is favoring, in my opinion. The QQQ, same thing, right? We dumped. Okay, we dumped all the way down to 533. This is just a temporary pullback, or I would say a liquidity grab before they started to uptrend us right back up to new all-time highs. And that's likely what they're going to be doing. There's a good chance we're going to continue to rally, especially because the PPOs look bullish and because of the fact that there's so many shorts expiring. But don't forget, we'll see depending on the PPI data and our Michigan Consumer Sentiment data at 10 a.m. just to be safe. But nonetheless, the chart looks more bullish. We're favoring upside as long as the QQQ does not lose 535. We are still favoring the upwards direction. Notice the Russell 2000, we dipped right to our support at 223, then we bounced back up like there's no tomorrow. So I think that we could be trying to retest 226.5. We'll have to see if we break that or not. We're just in a range. We've been trading sideways for the last couple of months, so we'll see if this breaks or not. For ES, we're looking bullish, so we're looking at 61.23. If we lose this, this could be dumping a lot more. As long as we're above this, though, we're going to likely see this imbalance fill for about 61.50 plus. There's a good chance that ES tries to continue to uptrend. Um, NQ is looking bullish. Notice that I said as long as you don't lose 22,000, we're going to be fine. We touched it yesterday and we bounced off of it, so we're doing great so far. We're going to be testing this resistance right here. If we could break 22,250, I am expecting us to make a full recovery and then eventually try to make new all-time highs for 22,400. But we need to break out of this like resistance, and then I think we will continue to rally as we look bullish. Bitcoin is on a tear; it's finally breaking resistance. We did mention that this was looking bullish. As long as we get back above 99,000, hold above that, which is where our 200 EMA is, 101,000 is very possible. Nvidia dumped only to about like 136, and then it got bought back up. So great job by Nvidia. This chart is looking more bullish, especially with earnings next week. This looks like a nice accumulation, and I think this will continue to uptrend for the 150s soon. So it looks bullish to me. For Apple, I had never said that this is going to dip too much. I mentioned that to you all that even if we test like 242, we're looking for a bounce, and that this is going to likely continue to hit these highs. We're on our way to 248. Apple still looks bullish to me. This is very resilient compared to the market yesterday. Coin is looking bullish, going to be looking for an attempt for 272, excuse me, looking bullish. Amazon, not so great. It's on a downtrend if you guys look at this resistance. So I do expect us to test this. We'll see if we could get back above 225. If we break past that, we're looking for a bounce, but otherwise, we have to wait and see if we can break this trend line. Meta is finally trying to rebound. It dumped really hard. It is due for that. We need to get back above 708 if we reclaim that we're looking for a big bounce. I hope that Meta could achieve that, so we'll see just to be safe. Microsoft is looking for 420 plus. Google's looking for a rebound for 189. I'm seeing a lot of these tech stocks trying to bounce, and although the VIX pumped a bit, it's rejecting. It still has this gap to fill, so that's a good sign for the bulls. With that being said, I thank you all so much for listening. Tesla could be a little lackluster. There might be a small dip coming with this recall news, right? It's not a real recall. This is just how the media loves to describe it. It's just a software update that's going to fix the issue, but this could dip a little bit more. As long as you don't lose 348, we're going to likely just continue to remain in this range. And if we do dip towards that like 348 to 350 area, watch and see if we hold it. As long as it holds, we could try to make a full recovery and then bounce later on. But look for a small dip for now. I think Tesla might dip a little bit for the time being. And if 348 fails, it's going to be a bigger dip. once again, it wouldn't be Tesla's fault. The recall is exaggerated. It's not, real. So we'll see how it goes. Anyways, that's it for this one. Thank you for listening. Anticipate a little bit of downside for Tesla, and we'll see if we can hold support to bounce. Overall, it's just range bound, and we'll be very, very patient nonetheless. Thank you for listening, and peace out.